In this lesson, lesson 7.11, our essential question is, repeat after me, how do you use AM and PM to describe times? So today we're going to use what we've learned about telling time, and we're going to talk about AM and PM. So go ahead and open your book to page 527. All right, so on this page, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about morning and evening times, because every time on the clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, all the way to 12 o'clock, those times on the clock happen 2 times throughout an entire day and night. So we have 1 o'clock AM and 1 o'clock PM. We have 2 o'clock AM and 2 o'clock PM, all in one day, except for it's day and night. So what we're going to do first is we are going to draw and label a picture for an activity that you do in the morning. So think about something that we do in the morning. Think about something we do in the morning at school. All right, so we do our math in the morning at school. So I'm just going to draw a quick picture, and I'm going to draw just the numbers 1, 2, 3, 5 plus 5 equals 10, just to show that we do math in the morning. Go ahead and pause your video and draw a picture of you doing math. Pause the video and draw that. All right, so in the morning, I'm going to let you know that we start math at 9:45. So let's think about our clock. When we think about 9:45, we know that our hour hand is going to be in the 9 room because it's 9:45. But if it's 45 minutes past 9, where do you think that hour hand might fall? Is it going to be real close to the 9, or is it going to be closer to the 10 if that minute hand has moved somewhat around the clock? That's right. If we think about the minute hand, we know that it's going to be at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So our minute hand is going to be on the 9. So let's write the digital time, 9:45. Go ahead and pause the video and write that. And when we draw our hour hand, we know that if the minute hand is going to be all the way over to the 9, that our hour hand is going to be closer to the 10 than the 9. So again, when we draw our hour hand, we do not go past the dotted line. And I'm going to draw it so that it's really closer to the 10 than the 9, but it's not 10 o'clock yet. It is not in that 10 room yet. And the minute hand, as we know, we counted around to 45 by 5s, is going to go through the 9, and that will show us that it is 9:45. And it is, we're going to talk about whether that's AM or PM, but I'm going to tell you that is AM. All right, pause the video and draw your clock hands on. All right, next we are going to draw something that you do in the evening. So this might look different for each of you. I'm going to write something that I do in the evening, and I do, let's see, I snuggle with my dog in the evening. So in the evening when I snuggle with my dog, I'm going to draw a picture of him and his floppy ears. Those aren't very floppy though, and he kind of looks like a bunny rabbit now, but that's okay. You all know that Mrs. Young doesn't draw that well. And there's his legs, and me snuggling with him. All right, so I snuggle with my dog in the evening. So just draw a quick picture of something that you do in the evening. Pause the video and show what you do in the evening. All right, so I am going to pick a time in the evening. So we know we get out of school we start loading the buses at 3:30, but that is not the evening yet. In the evening might be 6 o'clock or after. I usually snuggle my dog about 7 o'clock. So I'm going to write 7 o'clock on my, oops, actually I just wrote 7:10, so that's okay. I'm still snuggling him at 7:10. So go ahead and write the time in the evening that you do something, whatever you drew, write it in the digital box. And now I'm going to draw the hands on my clock. So I know that my hour is going to be in the 7 room because it's 7:10. And I know that my minute hand, 5:10, is going to be on the 2. So my minute hand has not gone that far around the clock yet. So I know that my hour hand is going to be closer to the 7 than the 8. It's not even that much after 7, so I'm going to kind of draw it just a little bit past the 7 for 7:10. Go ahead and draw the arms, or the hand, sorry, on your clock. Pause the video and do that. All right, so think about some more activities that you do in both the morning and the evening. Think about how the clock might look different as you do those things. All right, go ahead and turn the page. We're going to look at page 528, and we're going to talk about AM and PM. So let's think about this. If we talk about 12 o'clock, we know that noon, 12 o'clock noon, is 12 o'clock in the daytime. So noon, actually 3 minutes after noon, is the time that we go to lunch. So we know it's daytime outside and it is lunchtime. Midnight is also 12 o'clock, but that is at night when you should be in bed. Hopefully you are. And it's when it starts a new day, really. But it is at night. Midnight is at night. So times after midnight and before noon are written with AM. So think about this. Once it hits midnight, 12 o'clock midnight, it starts a new day. So we have a new day and we are still sleeping all the way until the morning. Those are AM times. And then all the way through our school day morning up until we go to lunch is still AM. So it's dark through part of the AM time, through up until it's morning for us to wake up. And then all through the morning at school, it's daylight, and then it's noon. Once we hit noon and after, up until midnight, we have PM. So again, part of the time we start our PM times at noon when we're going to lunch. So it's daylight. And then as we go through school and the evening comes, it turns dark and it's PM all the way up until that 12 o'clock midnight again. So 11 o'clock AM is in the morning. Go ahead and trace 11 o'clock on your digital clock. And 11 o'clock AM is morning. Pause the video and trace that. All right, times afternoon and before midnight are written with PM. So 11 o'clock PM is in the evening, and you can see this person is asleep. He's asleep like he should be at 11 o'clock PM. All right, go ahead and trace that 11 o'clock. All right, so again, 11 o'clock AM, these kids are playing at school, and let's just pretend like this is the boy that's asleep. So he's playing at school. It is still the same day. So today is Thursday. So let's say that this boy is playing at school on Thursday in the morning, 11 o'clock. It's close to lunchtime, but it's still AM. And then when he's asleep at night, it's still Thursday up until it's midnight. All right. So we have two 11 o'clocks every day. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 1. We're going to first write the time on the digital clock, and then we are going to circle AM or PM. So it also tells us what the activity is, so that it gives us a hint as to what 7:15 time we would be doing. So this first time, as you can tell, they've already actually labeled it. We know that the hour hand is in the 7 room. If you look right here, it's in the 7 room. So we know the hour is 7. And we put our colon. And we know the minute hand is on 3. So when we count around by 5s, we have 5, 10, 15. So it is 7:15. The activity is eat breakfast. So think about that. Would we eat breakfast at 7:15 AM in the morning or 7:15 PM in the evening? That's right. We would eat breakfast at 7:15 AM. So go ahead and circle AM. All right. Next, our next activity is go to art class. So first, we need to figure out what time it is. And this does not mean the time that you go to art class. It could be someone else's special time. But think about when we would go to art class, if it would be AM or PM. So we look at the hour hand first. It looks like it's kind of between the 1 and the 2. So what room is that? That's right, it's the 1 room. So our hour's 1. And we know the minute hand is over here on the 8, so we're going to count around by 5s. Count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So it is 1:40, or 40 minutes after 1. All right, so let's think about this. 1:40. If it is 1:40 a.m., it is a little past midnight. So it would be still dark outside, and it is before we get out of bed. That would be a.m. The p.m. time would be afternoon, like almost 2 hours after noon. So it would be daylight out, and you would be having art class. Would that be a.m. or p.m. then? That's right, it would be p.m.